All right. Thank you very much for the preamble that we had. Now let's discuss the career planning for the fresh graduates that we discuss. For those who do not know about me, my name is Saeed Khan, and I'm CEO and partner of a company called Spectrum Consultants here in Canada. I did my graduation in mechanical engineering in 1993. I served about 7 years in Asia, 10 years in the Middle East, and about 7 years in um, North America, and 2 years in Africa. I'm a professional engineer by trade, and I have a professional engineering license from Canada, a certified project manager, and an MBA from London Business School. So after this brief introduction, I think let me set up this camera for a while. Yeah. Okay. So let's go to the first step. As you can see, objective and mission of this workshop is to basically enhance your efforts to find out the right career track in your life. So we will try to explore what is the right career track. How do you find it? Then in the next stage, we will provide you right tools and enable you to meet today's competitive job market challenges. As you know, that job market is really competitive, and if you're not competitive with that, probably you're going to lag behind. Things are changing. The old ways of resumes, the old ways of cover letter, and all those things have basically changed, and you need to tune up yourself according to the new requirements. So this is the key objective. Number one, enhance your efforts, and number two, provide you with the right tools and enable you to meet today's competitive challenges. As we discussed earlier, we are going to discuss this in three sections, career planning. One is the first flight for the fresh graduates. Second is the setting up course, second level altitude, like the aeroplane takes the initial altitude and then it stays for a while over there before it takes to the next altitude. So that's basically a mid-management career level, people. I guess it's a 4th January here, but which is already passed. I think a week from now we will do that. Then reaching your maximum potential, unlock your dreams is the third session that we will do. Okay, first flight, resume and cover letter. If you need any, before I start up, if you need any career advice, please note down my email, saidmahmood@gmail.com. Or if you want to reach me through official email, careers@spectrumconsultants.ca. You can reach that, our HR team as well. Okay, resume and cover letter, career advice. Please reach on this. That's already there. Must accompany with a cover letter. First of all, a resume should be accompanied with a cover letter. And the reason I'm saying is, let me hold this on for a while. And the reason I'm saying is, the resume you build is once. Although you tune it with every job, but basically, resume is done once. The dates, the tenures, the everything is fixed in that one. So the anything that describes your eligibility for a particular role is what your cover letter covers. Cover letter basically covers the gap between your experience and the expectations stipulated, mentioned, described in the job description. You have to cover that bridge through cover letter. So therefore, cover letter is an extremely important element of the application. Okay, now resume covers following things. Give me a second, please. Yeah. Okay. Resume covers following things. First of all, a brief profile. Brief profile means what the value you have actually. As a fresh graduate, you describe your basic information, including academics, geography, your, if appropriate, the gender, experience, etc. An example could be an accomplished professional or a fresh graduate with 93% final percentage, specialized in hydraulics, thermodynamics, that can give me a great leverage in air conditioning industry and heat transfer industry. Another example would be a fresh graduate from NUST Institute, with 85% marks, specializing in PLC design and electronics and all that. So this is how you can describe yourself. Um, don't mention if your experience if you don't have. You don't need to mention. So, however, you mentioned with a few projects over there. So, first of all, is a brief profile. Brief profile will attract the hiring manager to see what the basic capabilities are. Okay. Now, what I've seen in some of the resumes that I received that includes ID card information and all that unnecessary, which I'm not sure if in Pakistan still it is important to mention that, but I would not mention any of the personal information that could be translated to any legal complication in future or any other complication in future. So I will certainly stay away. This paragraph is not, he's not interested in your ID card in the first brief profile. He's interested into what you are actually. And this is what you have to explain. You need to also give a flavor of your potential skill. And yeah, one more thing that I realize, people say that looking for a challenging organization. No, today's job market is different. I was just reading someone's a quote this morning. You want to find an opportunity, you will fail. You must find a problem, and the problem is an opportunity. So therefore, the company that you are going to you are hunting for an opportunity, you need to find out a problem over there, or or if not a problem, then at least a development opportunity that you could do that, and that should be a part of your brief profile. For example, if you are applying for a company which is software development, so you need to mention what's the problem in the software development. Basically, people do, most of the companies in Pakistan and India are doing the offshore businesses. So the reactive time and the reaction time or response time is extremely important. Understanding the international culture is extremely important, and understanding the language is extremely important. Being your integrity is extremely important, because when you talk on international level, you must you must honor what you say. So therefore, that can also be a part of your profile, like a highly dependable professional with 1 year experience, or highly dependable graduate came out of the engineering or IT institute, and looking for an opportunity to deploy my skills in the best possible way in an international domain. So something like this you should be mentioning there in the brief profile. That's your first eye catcher. Most of the hiring managers do not go beyond the brief profile. Honestly, I tell you, take it like this. Most of the hiring managers do not go beyond this brief profile. So if you want to be shortlisted, at least the first glance, in 10-15 seconds, this is your opportunity to describe yourself, and focus it on very well. Stay away from conventional word, dear sir, um, uh, like like the conventional words, all of that that make you low, that feel you low. Be upfront, be good. Should look like a self confidence in in this paragraph, and should look like a highly dependable and self confident man. Even the problem with Pakistan is also the age. Even when we don't consider a man till the time he's got married. And marriage is I don't know when it happens in Pakistan, 25 years, 30 years, people are struggling with a career. But on an international scale, you are a man when you cross 60. You are considered to be responsible for your actions. You are considered to be responsible for anything that you do. Even in North America, and I'm sure in Europe too, when I go for my child's school or university, they don't give me any information. If he's above 16 years, they say it is against the confidentiality agreement or their confidentiality policy, because they think they are adults, they are young men and women, and they are responsible for their acts. So therefore, when you come out of the university, you must understand, first of all, that you are a man. You have the same self-respect that any other person has it. So therefore, even you are applying for a job, yes, but that doesn't mean that you should feel low by yourself. Keep your self-esteem right from the start. And I want really to see that in the new graduates, a self-esteem, right? A self-respect. So this is your first part of the resume. If you have any question, please reach me out or send me a copy of the brief profile. I will read through and surely give you a feedback. Then the all right. So the next thing is in the brief profile is an enthusiastic and hardworking IT programmer. This is an example, business concentration and a diploma in this. This is a special interest in programming, C++. Please align with the company requirements. I think we have spoken already about this one. The second is the academic qualification. As a fresh graduate, first you describe your paragraph, and then because everyone knows that you're a fresh graduate, he is not going to look for an experience in your resume, but he will be the only thing that he can be concerned is your academic qualification. So that is the reason it has to come on the second number. The academic qualification is degree, university, year, any special achievements you have done, any special assignments you have done. Please don't mention a metric, okay? Secondary school certificate and below qualifications, unless special achievements are involved into that. You don't need to describe your metric. You are a grown-up boy or a girl now, a man and a woman. You have to behave like this. So that was just like academics at the very initial stages. Everybody does a secondary school certificate examination, whether it's a doctor, engineer, IT professional, lawyer, whatever. Therefore, you need to do not go beyond the, I think, minimum higher secondary school certificate if you have done from a good institute like government college or any other institute similar to this one. Therefore, start from the FSC at least, a higher secondary school certificate, and then go up. So the sequence will be the highest degree, the latest degree, the current degree should be on the top, then go on the bottom like this. Do not start from FSC and BSc and MSc. Start from MSc, BSc, and FSc, if or matric if needed. So as we discussed, right? In this way, you need to specifically mention your university, if possible, your grades, and any special subjects that are relevant to that job. You remember one thing: academics, and I strongly believe that academics has a very strong correlation with the field. People say field is a different thing and academics are the different thing. It's not the case. It is not the case, believe me. Academics have a very strong correlation with the practical field. When I joined, I will give you a quick example here. When I joined in 1993, my career, I was appointed as design engineer for a project. And the first design I did, I had zero experience, but I took a book of design and I designed according to that book. Yes, I completely agree. It was 20% over designed, but I never failed anywhere. The books never let me down anywhere. Therefore, if you are talking about a fresh landing, then probably your qualification is a very strong point, and you should specifically mention the subjects that you have studied relevant to the industry and the job you're doing. For example, if you're applying for a job in Honda Atlas, just as an example, a production management, a leadership, and those skills are important. So if you have studied any subjects pertinent to that, you should mention over there. If you are applying for a company like a Tescon Engineering, then project management skills are more important. If you're applying for a company like NetSol or NetSoft or a programming company, then probably your language skills are more important. So those should be specifically mentioned in the academic qualification. I strongly emphasize that you mention them and try to find out a correlation between the subjects that you are mentioning and the company's business. So for example, an excellent programming skills in C++, which is highly effective in AutoCAD design, where I can build up, do the programming to automate the software, or simple assignment. Try to relate something with your subject and your organization, right? Even if you don't understand, don't worry, but at least try to relate it. It will give you a very good boost. All right. So after the brief profile, achievements are involved. We did it. Then the third section will be your key skills. This is the most important. Actually, you can put in second number as well if you like to, but I would put it in third number because academics are. Key skills are the most important things. Now, these skills are not only the academics you have already mentioned, but you can replicate here as well in a different tone, but as a skill, right? So, so you need to basically describe your skills that are highly effective to that organization. And now I will give you some examples and don't mention non-pertinent skills. For example, I'm a good golf player, I'm a good hockey player or cricket player. It has nothing to do with that. Mention your skills which are aligned and pertinent to the job market. So, for example, here, if you're applying for a company like ICI in Karachi, right? It's a plant. I have seen the environment. It's a very regimented kind of atmosphere, very bureaucratic, hierarchical chain. So all you need the skill in that organization to succeed is basically a team player. So you integrate with the other people very well. You listen to your seniors and you know how to lead your juniors. So communication, leadership, resilience, team building are kind of things that highly pertinent to that organization. Similarly, if your technical skills are important too, and you can mention those as well, but in reality, you need to focus on both technical and soft skills. If you're talking about a company, if a new project, for example, going anywhere in Pakistan, for example, CPEC or any other, so the what the skills they would be looking for? What do you think? They would be looking for someone who can work on the remote side, work harder day and night, work with the Chinese workaholic peoples, and work without any special constraints. So in that case, your skill would be a hardworking, um, dependable, um, kind of person, right? So resilience, leadership, obviously, like integrity, team building, working in international environment. If you've done any travel as well, I don't hesitate to mention that in my resume that I've done half the world travel, or I've done 1 million kilometers travel in the world. So this is a very, very big skill as well. So you need to mention all of your skills pertinent to your job in the third section. In the fourth section, you can mention some achievements which are academics or any other volunteer work, extra you have done anywhere. It's a wonderful opportunity in the fourth section to do that. Um, in the fifth section, you will do the experience history. That's where he would be like if you pass through all those first 4 sections, and you seem remember the hiring manager understands that you are a fresh graduate. He he basically he's not looking for the experience, and that is the key reason we are putting that experience at the fifth level, right? So if you pass through 1, 2, 3, 4 tests, first one like brief profile, you win his congruence in academic qualifications, you fit right, you have the right skills, and you have the good achievements too, then he's going to look for your if you have any work history. So again, it should be in a reverse chronological order, latest on top and going from going to the bottom. It will have from to duration like 1 year or 6 months, organization name, and just a key responsibilities. When you go for this, the important thing in here is to use the action verbs. I have given a link to the action verbs, the balance.com list of resume and cover letter keywords. So try to pick up some words from there. Um, like, just to give you some examples, participated in a project is means nothing to anyone, right? And participating, office secretary also participates in a project. A project manager also participates in a project. Everyone participates. But what specifically you have done, try to project it in a way that you achieved something. So use the action words achieved, developed, delivered, orchestrated, designed, implemented, delivered, just something that's tangible, right? And try to make it some tangible. If you have done, for example, um, a software for a leasing company, you need to mention here that developed, delivered, implemented, and delivered finally to the client leasing software comprising of this modules and this and that. So elaborate that experience a little bit more. So even if you have 1 year experience, if you stretch your project a little more and in testing, it will give them very good idea. Remember, the hiring managers, they look at, like I have 23 years experience, they look at my resume and they just get confused with millions of projects over there, right? So many projects, and they're not interested. So all they do is they take up the latest one project and they ask me, what did you do in that project? And then I have to explain. So therefore, in my resume, which is a senior level, my project list is totally separate. So my experience summary is just for the key achievements in every job. That's all. Project is a different projects list is a separate another document, right? With pictures, evidence, and all that. But in your case, as a fresh graduate, you have lesser projects, so you can pull those projects into your resume. And if you have just hardly one or two projects, even during final year, you have done some assignments or voluntary assignments, try to stretch it and shape it in a technical way that it should look like a proper project. Um, give a, for example, background, a brief background. And the company had this problem. They were having a repetitive order failures or whatever, and I looked at the design, I performed analysis, and then I delivered solutions comprising of these modules, and they assembled these modules, and then we went for quality control. I licensed, I advise the quality control team. I delivered this part. So in that way, if you stretch one project, you will see that your resume is reasonably sized now, right? So try to take some action words from there. I hope I cleared myself, but if you have any question, please feel free to ask me. Okay. People ask about font and other things. I've seen that Calibri or you know what I'm laughing. Okay, so Arial and standard 10 point is a good font. If you need to expand your text, remember wherever the um, wherever the comma is, the comma you put or full stop, increase the size of that comma or full stop to 14 or 16 or 18 font size. That will increase the gap between the sentences, and even though your font is standard, your resume will look like a little bigger and sizable resume, right? So the other, like, don't increase the size of the letters, ABC, but the punctuations, comma, double comma, full stop, increase their size. You will see that your resume is getting bigger instead of, in spite of, sorry, your text size is reasonable. Colors. Font colors should never be shouting. Resume should never be shouting, actually. People don't like shouting resume. You should be slow in tempo. You cannot stand out by shouting in a pile of papers. The only way you can do it, be sober and with a corporate approach. So there are three basic colors which are companies use in the corporate one: dark gray, black, and navy blue. These are the three colors, anyone you can pick up. So I prefer usually dark gray, the color it is written in this dark gray, if you see that. And you can use any one. Headings, you can use a little bigger one. and a little darker one, and the text you can use dark gray if you want to. Remember that most of the companies don't have a color printer, so when the dark gray prints, it prints reasonably readable, right? If you use a yellow font or blue font, and if the ink is not there in the printer, someone would not be interested to read that resume. Remember that. And sometimes you have to fax as well. So dark gray or black would be an ideal for the fax as well. Even navy blue. Navy blue usually turns to black if you don't have a blue toner in the printer, so it will help you. Now we have already spoken that about passive words. Um, yeah, I don't think we spoke about this, but about passive words. Passive words means I was given this assignment. Why were you given this assignment? Why did you not take that assignment? Right? Never use the passive words. I went ahead and took this challenge. Um, stay away from these, like, I was given this assignment, I was asked to do so. uh, I was in your age, in your time, when you're a fresh graduate, people would not come and ask you to do something. You have to find out the challenges around you by yourself. So you can say that I found out this challenge, I talked to my manager, and this one. So stay away from any passive words. Okay, I don't want to see any passive words in anyone's resume. This is this is not an active way of talking. Third thing is, I love using it, logos and graphics for an easy to read visuals. This is ideal for mid to senior level, but you can also use some logos and graphics, for example, from your university. A link to your university where it tells you it's one of the best universities, for example, on a HEC website. If you're a graduate from obviously LUMS, it's a huge institute, it's a wonderful, prestigious institute, and you can mention the link of that as well. If you have any presentation somewhere stored on YouTube or anywhere, please mention that link. This is very important, that the hiring manager would be would be very much interested to talk to you, but he doesn't have the time. So how about if you put a kind of a link that, okay, this is my short video interview, and you provide that link to that person, and he's going to just click it. It's YouTube. You can read that. You can see that what you're talking about, and it will be a great. You will stand up right away with a click, right? We will have some other discussion about how do we record those interviews, and I can certainly guide you. It's very simple, it's very easy, especially in Pakistan or India or these countries. It is very easy where the internet service is cheaper and hardware is not expensive too. So you can very easily, with a very low budget, record a wonderful interview and provide that link to that. Now I'm repeating here, use action words. Now, this is all about resume. Did we cover everything? Yeah, I think we pretty much covered everything as a fresh graduate. We discussed about the resume format. Oh yeah, one more thing in the resume. Please do not mention your home address. Why are you people? If you're living in a small town of Okada or Saiwa, why do you mention that? Does it make any difference? You don't need to. Actually, you just give a phone number, and no one knows that where you were. And there's no point in in mentioning your home address. So just mention Mr. Atif Nadeem, phone number this one, email this one, right? Try to use your emails as a sober words, not a Danny boy or a dandy, yeah, or a pearl or a girl saying like a tulip or things like this. They don't reflect a good image. If you need to find out, if you don't have one, then use one email from Gmail. Make one like, um, which doesn't tell you your identity. Basically, the matter is to hide your identity as any like any biased gender, religion, um, sect, area, or caste. For example, Akram Jatt at yahoo.com. Someone with not a Jatt caste might have some different opinion about this one, or Saeed Khan with different would have a different meaning, right? Therefore, try to stay away from biased emails. Give a precise email. It should look professional. For example, engineer0342 at gmail.com, professional 7856 at gmail.com. Also, people love the word 786. I don't know what do they mean by they have a very short, quicker way of bismillah, right? And try to stay away from this kind of the things that describe your religious identity, and also similarly like your full name as a Nakwi or as a and any I don't want to name that, but in reality the job is totally different. Everyone has the equal right, and therefore I request you to stay away from any religious, geographical area, city, gender, or your personal inclination biased. Some people say, for example, you might say Allah Akbar at Saeed Allah Akbar at yahoo.com. So it must be totally neutral and professional. So love 786 or love 5843 is oh my God, what an email is that, right? So today make one email, you can make one at Gmail or wherever you want to. And by the way, Yahoo is a good, but if you want to make email on Outlook, it's a good idea. And one more thing at this time, I would give an advice. You don't need to go to every time on Yahoo or Outlook email web browser. You can download that Yahoo or Outlook into your Outlook email. I will show you actually. It's a good chance. For example, if you see in here, I'm gonna load that in a second. Yeah, it's loading up, right? So if you see in here, this is my com email, right? And this is I have two email addresses, and they both land in this section, right? Therefore, and this is the combined Apple ID automatic renewal has been activated. All right, okay. So what I want to say is that you can download that emails whenever you are connected. It will download the emails, and you can read and respond them comfortably, rather than kind of going because not necessarily every time you have the flexibility to go on the browser and some light goes off. In here you can save your send draft in the outbox and then attach a heavy files and all that you can send there. Okay, what else I want to say that on this one? Yeah, one more thing. Make an electronic copy of your transcripts and degrees, right? Save them in a low resolution format, just as a token to send with the application. Don't make sure it's not like 25 megabyte and it chokes up the hiring manager's email, right? It's going to be offensive. So just make it. Usually the limit is 1 megabyte, I guess, or maybe 2 megabyte, but I would like you to stay under 1 megabyte. Send two different emails. First email, resume and cover letter. Second email, the attachments, right? Don't send everything in one email. It will be slower, and the guy will know that, oh my God, I'm being bombarded. So stay away with that. First email, just a cover letter and a resume. And the second email, with your projects list or credentials or similar things. Yeah. Again, if you have any video link like this, I'm making one, please feel free to include the link. It is very important. It will stand you out from the crowd. Any research that you have done on the company will stand you out. For example, if you know that Descon Engineering is hiring for a certain particular project, and you know where the project is, please mention that I'm very much interested to work on this project. And remember one more thing. Remember one more thing, very important. That is, even if the hiring manager does not have the opportunity right in front of him for you, He is gonna keep you in his database. No one, no one would like to go outside and explore the weather. They will first like to find the people inside their system. So if you have applied for the and you don't get a response, don't think that it is going to end the game and this job is over. That means you are also over. You are still there in their system, and they will contact you as soon as they get a right opportunity. So I have seen so many companies where I just threw a resume, I applied for a job, I did not get a job, but later after many months or whatever, they came back, oh sorry, they have got an opportunity for you, and I think it's a very relevant to your skill set. You have seen your resume. So if you are still interested, please let us know. So this kind, so you have to stay in this system, right? Um, so what happens after sending the resume? So what happens after the sending the resume? That is, you need to send up a follow-up email in about a week time, telling him that I sent a resume, hope you received it. Just wanted to see where you are with the resume. Again, stay away from, I will be highly obliged and thankful for you, dear sir. No, you can address the start. If you don't know the name of the person, you can write it, dear sir or madam. But you don't need to be so submissive to get an answer. Okay, no one is going to answer you based on your submissiveness. Even if you lay down on the floor, no one is going to give you a job. I guarantee you. If they have a job, you have the skill they're going to give you, right? Being submissive and being so disrespectful to yourself to that degree is not acceptable. That's not a man's attitude. That's not a professional attitude, right? What else we want to talk about this one? Yeah. So resume we talked about. Yeah. Now I think that our next chapter is cover letter. About half to three-quarter page with your electronic signatures at the bottom. Where did you hear about the job? Number one. So, so dear sir, for example, dear sir, madam, I just came across an interesting opportunity at in Hyderabad or Malid area or industrial area in Islamabad, where you mentioned that you have some specific project, and I feel a really potential to work for this one. So this will give you an idea, like you have heard something, and then the next paragraph you're going to mention your suitability. The reason I'm interested in this job is because that's your suitability. That I'm a fresh graduate and have excellent academic skills in certain manufacturing or production subjects or project management subjects or programming subjects, or and that makes me perfectly aligned. The hiring managers are really lost people. Trust me, you have to guide them. Trust me or not, they are not responsible for matching. Like this is job five elements, and this is five elements of a candidate, right? So if they are offset, even they match, it is hard for them to correlate with them. And with the hundreds and thousands of applications, it will be next to impossible. It is your responsibility when we talk about your suitability, job skill, your skill, job requirement, your skill, job requirement, your skill. Don't hesitate to make it as a table as well, right? So you're gonna stand out from there. It's very important. So your suitability and then your skill alignment. What skills you have that will align with that job. Focus on them. Qualification alignment. So once you do all that, um, and then if you want, I usually do that. But if you want in the last paragraph, what what make me an ideal candidate? What stands me out for this role, right? And you have to find something over there. Think about it and find out something that stands you out of those people. For example, you can live in difficult environments, right? And that will be a direct impact on the hiring. Oh, this guy is really can live in Muzaffargarh. He's a guy from Lahore and he's prepared to go to Muzaffargarh. Oh yes, that's good. That's good. Yeah, he has the potential. He really needs a job. Give him a job, right? So this is something that will trigger him. If you have if you're applying for a job in, let's say, an army and you have some army background, it's the best time to mention that as well. That I grew up in a army oriented family where my cousins and my all of folks are are already and are highly inspired, and I'm already a cadet at home, for example, or something like similar, that will stand you out, that will tell them that you are a little superior candidate than the other one, just to be in the view of the hiring manager. Yeah, pretty much that's all. So in the last section, suitability role we discussed already, availability and reservation. Now, in the last paragraph, probably you can also mention your availability, like immediate, or usually don't mention immediate. I don't do that, but I give a 30 days notice, but negotiable, right? You don't need to show your desperation, like, okay, I'm immediately available, desperately looking for an active job, actively looking for this one. Um, uh, like things that undermine your prestige and your integrity. Just mention, for example, I would do that. Available in 30 days, but negotiable. That means that I can come earlier as well. If you have any special concerns, oh yeah, one more thing. If you're well off already and you don't need a huge salary, just no harm in mentioning that salary in here, that I'm looking for a salary of 10,000 or 15,000 or 12,000. That will, okay. This is a very important subject actually. Uh, Hiring managers are usually more interested to know the numbers, because they have to report those numbers to the senior management team and link it with their budget. Anything else, suitability is fine, but the numbers will take the precedence. So it is very important that you, especially because you are landing your first job, I think it is very important that you mention your expectations, and keep your expectations low. I don't want to give my example. It's a bad idea to focus a discussion on your side. But when I went for a first job in my career, it was on a textile mill being constructed in Mangamanji, and they asked me that, okay, uh, uh, what do you want? I said 1,500 rupees was my salary, and they said, okay, all right, we will give you 1,500. That's our maximum budget, okay. And then they said, okay, we don't have any space for living for the engineers. You have to live with the laborers. I said, okay. So whatever they said, okay, whatever the tough questions they put me on, I said, okay, and they had no reason to refuse me. And I got that job. Luckily, in a 3 days time, I got another opportunity too. But in reality, if you mention your expectations well, well, well defined, um, there's this is going to make a positive impact on the hiring manager. He knows what you're looking for. His box is filled. He knows this is my box, and if this person fits in my box, that's it. Then everything else will work better if you want to do that. If you have any special challenges like disabilities, minorities, for example, if you are from northern areas of Pakistan where you're you look like a minority or anything. I don't. I wouldn't describe any any identity here. Uh, Minority is, or if you are from a Hindu religion or from any other religion, Christian religion, obviously all respectful for us. There's no harm in mentioning, but if you don't want to mention, that's okay. However, if you have any special constraints, like you cannot go out of the town or you cannot travel, that's also a good thing to save your time and company's time, to let them in advance, right? Okay. So I think this is all I have it now for today. We covered all the things pretty much. I just want to make sure that you have everything. Format of the cover letter. So now, how to find out the right jobs? There are job advertised on the newspaper, yes. There are job advertised on many other platforms, yes. Naukri, Gulf, and all that. But if you are in Pakistan, I would I would suggest you to visit our companies by yourself and reaching out the hiring managers and start throwing them emails on routine basis, right? So what I do in here, in this case, I will make an Excel sheet, date, company, hiring manager email, name, and resume sent. And so I will keep on populating that sheet. And in this way, after date, so after 1 week or 2 weeks, I will revisit the sent resume and once again actually send them a reminder email. Hi, Salim Saab, I was just wanted to see if I'm in your still in your inbox or I just lost myself. I hope you don't forget me. I'm looking for an opportunity and I sent you my resume. You will see that a continuous follow-up will help you a lot. Sometimes the hiring managers usually are very busy and they have very little time, so they might have ignored your resume in the first instance. And when you send a follow-up email, he might come up with, oh, this guy is following me up, so he's going to look back. And in most of the cases, trust me or not, my first resume has been totally unnoticed, no response. When I sent a second email as a reminder, oh, when did you send your resume? I get an email. I sent you actually last week, but it is enclosed once again. Thank you very much for your resume. And send once again that resume. Right? And that is the time when he is looking at the resume. First time, I promise you. So a follow-up email is very important. Um, and the jobs which are advertised, they are highly competitive. Um, I'm not 100% sure how the government sector works, but I have heard that most of the many of the jobs are advertised just on policy basis. Um, not sure how is that, but to apply on them as well. But try to reach out the people in the industry. Visit software companies. Try to get a time with their hiring managers or their any direct person, or find out a link there. Um, One more thing during these visits is your appearance, your attire, your attitude, right? Um, just to let you know that Pakistani men and women are one of the most handsome people in the world. They are really, mashallah, well dressed. Very, if they dress very well, they are really fine. In terms of dressing, I don't know. We can keep it next time, or should I continue? But in terms of, okay, I will cover this very quickly. Try to have one suit, pant, and a jacket which fits you very well, in which you are not uncomfortable. And every time you wear the same dress. If you see my shirt, I'm comfortable with this shirt and I wear it all the time. I'm good with that. The people who spend least time with their dressing, they are the best ones. So find out one dress. You can find a cheap dress anywhere you want to. From my goodness, I remember I used to buy from Prani Markali, pant and shirt or coat or anything, right? Trust me. So you can buy anything from a big store to a small value village or a thrift store or anywhere in Pakistan. They're called Nabza. But wear one nicely and it should fit you very well. You should not feel into it's the first time wearing a suit. Okay, so it should fit your body properly. Your movement should be nice. You should be running with that, like you should be doing all the actions to exemplify that. The okay, James Bond 007. He does everything with his suit, right? He shoots up, he jumps down, he rolls up. The suit is so comfortable for him, right? But unfortunately, if you see a professor in our university, with all due respect to everyone, but some of them, you would find them, if you put a jacket on them, it looks like they are unable to do anything. Literally, they are unable to do anything. They can just walk, they can sit in a meeting probably, or they can issue some dictation or orders. That's all. But that's not the way. You should wear a pant and a suit or a jacket and trouser or combination which fits you, makes you comfortable, and the other person can view you. Okay, you can do anything. You can ride a bus with this one. You can run after a taxi with this one. You can drive on a bike with this one. Something like this. And I'm sure the new generation, out of action since past many years. I'm out of Pakistan since past many years. but I've seen that the new generation is having a wonderful attitude towards their attire and dressing, right? So if you have any further question, please don't hesitate to reach me at saidmahmood@gmail.com. I think it's the time to go to catch up some other stuff as well. And thank you very much for listening me. And again, if you need any kind of help, let me know. And meanwhile, I'm preparing something for the middle management professionals as well. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful day.